Let's go. All right, so I'm out at the park with Maple for a walk, and we're going to talk about loose leash walking. So the main thing is, what is loose leash walking? Kind of the definition, yes, good girl, is the leash has to be loose. So as long as she can be beside me, a little wide, a little in front, as long as that leash is nice and loose like it is right now. Yes, good girl. So she does not have to walk next to me the whole time, but she does need to keep the leash loose. Like this is fine, right? She's a little in front, but the leash is loose. Good girl. So what you're going to see me doing, kind of the main way we work on this, and she's been doing fabulous with it, is what I would call rewarding good choices. So when she's walking nicely with a loose leash, yes, I'm going to mark yes. And then I'm going to place my hand with a treat at my side, and she's going to come back to me to get that treat. So all the good stuff is going to happen at my side, and that's going to encourage her to stay closer and not want to go so far ahead, because all the good stuff happens back here. Yes. So when she's walking nicely, I'm going to mark and reward her. Other good choices might be like going to the end of the leash like she's about to do here. And then if she were to, yes, look at me, right? She slowed down. She hit her kind of boundary on the leash there and checked back in with me, then I'm going to mark and reward that. And periodically throughout the walk, we're just going to be rewarding these good choices like this. Over time, yes, you're going to be able to slowly reward a little less and a little less until you don't need to reward these choices at all, and it just has become second nature, that this is what walking with you looks like. So right now we're still rewarding pretty heavily, but you'll see, like I said, easily over time, you're just going to go down from 100% of good choices, yes, good girl, to 75% of good choices, to 50, 25, so on. She definitely has a harder time walking at my side more often in a place like a park, right? There's more distractions, there's more things to smell. And of course, the point of being at the park is for her to get out and adventure a little bit more. Yes, good girl. Versus walking in the neighborhood, she pretty much spends the entire walk by my side. So she wants to explore a little bit more here, but as I said, in all fairness, there's lots more smells and things to have here. So this is just kind of the basics of loose leash walking, not so much anything to do with like reactivity or passing people and dogs. This is just about the basics of leash walking. Yes, good girl. The reason too that I'm rewarding right now these check-ins where she looks at me is because that's going to be really important also for the reactivity, right? We want a dog that when we're out and about is checking in with us and isn't so enamored with the outside world that they're not even paying attention that we're even still present. So a few other things I want to show you are some other cues that we use on walks. One is this way. This way just means we're changing directions. This way. Yes, good girl. Good girl. So right now I'm rewarding that, but I've slowly been rewarding that a little less and a little less. This way just means we're changing direction. So you're going to cue her anytime you're going to take a turn, left, right, an about turn like what we just did. This way. Yes, good girl. Nice job. This way. Good girl. Nice job. So I'm going to reward her for that one. The next one I want to show you is over. Over is a get off to the side of the road. This can be for traffic, a bike, but specifically we've been using it a lot at parks when a dog is coming so that we can practice our reactivity training without the stress of also trying to walk at the same time. So it would look something like this. Over. And we're going to get off the side. She's going to sit down with me. We're off the path. We could let the person pass, the dog pass, the bike, whatever was happening at that time. I'm going to reward her. Let's go. And then we're going to move on. So she knows over means get off to the side, and we're going to take a seat. Good girl. And then let's go is our cue. That means we're going to move again. So let's go could be like that. We were pulled over. Now we're going to move again. Let's go could also be I've stopped, right? Yes, good girl. And she's doing really great with this as well, stopping when I stop. Good girl. And then we're going to move again. Let's go. Good girl. I also use that let's go cue if they have stopped to sniff, and then I'm ready to move on. So let me see here for a second. Maple, go sniff. Go check some things out. Go sniff. There we go. So if we had stopped to sniff somewhere, of course, she's not going to sniff. Let's go. And I'm ready to move on. I'm going to cue her with that let's go to move on and continue on our walk. It is important that we do give them opportunities to sniff, especially a dog that can have a little anxiety and stress about new things, such as Maple. it's important to let her sniff because that is decompressing. Sniffing lowers the heart rate. It's good for the body overall. So like here, she's actually choosing to do a little sniffing. I'm gonna let her have that opportunity to sniff because she doesn't choose it a whole lot. And I wanna make sure she is getting some good Facebook time, or P-mail as we like to call it. And then when I'm ready to go, I'm just gonna cue her, let her sniff for just a second longer here. Oh, we have a dog coming. Let's go. So let me show you that real quick. So we're gonna do over. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Oh, never mind these people. Good girl. Yes. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Hi. Yes, good girl. Let's go. This way. Good girl. Nice job. Right, so I'm out here with Maple. We're going to kind of show you the basics of the reactivity work. And then I'll have some other videos to show you. So the first kind of thing is the protocol is called engage, disengage. And what we're looking for is that she engages. So she sees the dog, yes. And then she's looking back to us. So right now she's kind of at the stage where if we're on top of it and the dog is far enough away, she can do that second step, which is disengage. When that, what you'll see in these videos is where she looks, like right now, she sees the dog, yes. She looks back to me, I'm gonna mark yes and reward. She sees these dogs passing over here, but we've got some good distance, so she's not too worried about it. Yes, good girl. So she's able to disengage. And this is what we're looking for long term as well. But if we are up close, or it's another rambunctious dog, or she's already started to kind of pull and lunge, good girl, you'll see that we're actually going to sometimes mark her when she's still looking instead of waiting for her to look back, because that just shows us in those times she's not able to do so. So she's watching those dogs. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Yes, good girl. So this is that disengage step, right? She watches, she sees the dogs, yes, and she now sees dogs as a cue to look back to me and work with me rather than try to, yes, pull, lunge, worry about those other dogs. So, yes, good girl. It's right here. It's on my hand, girly. Yes, good girl. Oops, got that leash stuck on you. So we're gonna go a little bit closer so you can see what it's like when we're actually trying to be closer or with another dog that's also excited. So you can work on this on walks, and you can pull off to the side like you saw me do in the loose leash walking video. Yes, but you can also practice specifically outside of dog parks, walking past them. We've done a lot of walking back and forth past this dog park here. So you can see we're going to be a little bit closer. Yes, but she's still able to turn back and disengage. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. It is really important when you're working on this that you don't reward her if she's simply just staring at you. The reward is coming from seeing the other dog, noting right, that the dog is a cue to turn back to me, to check in with me, to see whether we're just going to keep passing by, or maybe we are going to say hi. But it's really important that you're not just rewarding her like right now where she's just simply staring at me. She has to notice the thing first, the dog, the person. We've also been doing this with people as well that we pass close by with, because she's very excited. She loves people, and she's especially been interested in children, and she wants to say hi so badly. And so when we're passing people close by, we're doing the same thing. We're marking and rewarding her for looking. Yes, good girl. We've got some more dogs passing here. Good girl. Nice job. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Yes. So you can see she's getting a little bit more excited. Yes, her tail's perked up. She's wagging it. She got a little bit excited when that dog passed because it was also a happy, excited dog. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Yes, good girl. So you could see with that first yes, when that golden retriever walked by, that I marked her when she was still looking before she turned back to me. The reason for that is I could see in her body language, right? She was getting excited. That other dog was also giving off excited vibes, wanting to say hi. She wanted to say hi. Yes, good girl. So I wanted to go ahead and catch her before she does that and just reward her for watching the dog and not lunging. So in exciting times, in really close proximities, you can mark the engage instead of waiting for the disengage, because we're rewarding her for noticing the dog and not immediately lunging at them. So that's the same thing like so we're doing with people and kids when we're walking by. She doesn't need that for people, except for when they're in really close proximity. Yes, good girl. Nice job. Yes. Yes, good girl. Nice job. All right, let's go. That was good job. Good girl. Okay. So as I mentioned, there are several ways you can continue to work on her reactivity. One is by setting aside specific times to go to the park and practice. I like to do this near dog parks or at parks that have dog parks because there's more of a guarantee I'm going to see dogs. So at this park, it's really great because the path is right next to the dog park, and we can either practice walking back and forth past or sitting next to the dog park and watching. These two videos are really great. There was a big dog that was barking, and even with the barking and running around and playing, she was able to work with me. In this video, we were just hanging out next to the playground while my son played. And then you can see as dogs passed, we would practice. So same thing, if you're going to take her out anywhere right now, she still needs that practice. So whatever you're doing with her out and about in public, just be prepared that when a dog is passing, it is work time. Yes, good girl. In this video, you'll see us working on it with just people passing by, and that is because they were walking in such close proximity. Good girl. In this video, a group of 4 dogs was walking by, so I pulled her off to the side because that would have been way too much for her to walk past. We're going to practice our engage, disengage. You're going to see for a moment she has a slip up where she lunges. I call her name, get her right back, and she's able to continue working with me as they pass. These next 2 videos also show what to do when she does react a little bit. So in this video, I wasn't prepared for this jogger passing so close by. She got excited and lunged, called her name, and then got her right back to working with me. Then you can see she's a little amped up and excited as this other dog and person passed because she had gotten so excited about that jogger. So we just continued to kind of work through it, went off to the side for a little bit, give her a break. This next video, we're passing 2 families with a large group of people, and they each had a dog. She does make a lunge for the one little dog because it's also an excited little dog that was pulling in her direction. I held on to that leash, called her back with her name, and then we keep going. So you can see I kind of stopped, paused, and then we continue working. For polite greetings inside the house, we're utilizing her place. So when somebody's at the door, we're going to cue her to place. You can reward her if she's overly excited in that moment as well. We're going to go greet our guests, let them come in, and then she is expected to stay on her place until we release her to go say hi. The first go say hi's that she's going to do is I'm going to have her just boop their hand and then come right back to me. So as soon as she boops their hand, I'm going to mark yes and reward her for coming back. We're keeping the greeting short because if we let it go too long in the beginning, she is likely to jump. And part of fixing that jumping on guests is management, and that is keeping her from doing too much of it. So then you see I let her go back a second time, get a little bit more pets before coming back. It's important to practice this outside of actual guest moments, so you can do what you see me doing here. I've got my husband and son playing along as my guests so that we can practice. She is just as excited even though she just saw them walk out the door. But you can do this when like one of you are coming home from work, let the other one know you're on your way. And that you're almost home, and the other one can get prepared and be ready to do the training practice with her. When you have real guests, just let them know that you're training, and I would designate, if both of you are home, one person to work with Maple while the other person goes to the door to actually let the guests in. You can also have Maple on a leash the first few times that you do this, so that you can guarantee that she's not going to go jump on your guests. Good girl, Maple. Yes, good girl. Cedar, would you like to say hi? You want to put your hand out? Yeah. Maple, go say hi. Maple, go say hi. Yes, good girl. Yeah. Bells. She's doing really great with potty bells. We are on kind of that third stage of every time we're going to take her outside, we're going to cue her bells. She rings those bells, and then we're going to take her outside. And you're going to continue to do this until she kind of picks up the pattern and starts ringing those bells on her own as a way to ask her to go out.
Go outside.
And that's a wrap on Maple's training.